Have you ever pulled a fresh, crisp shirt out of your washing machine, slipped it on, and felt a sudden, unexplained itch crawling across your chest? Or maybe you've spent months slathering your toddler in expensive creams, desperately trying to soothe a mysterious red rash that just won't clear up, assuming they've just got sensitive skin? We have been conditioned to believe that the thick, cloying smell of artificial lavender lingering on our clothes for weeks is the ultimate proof of a healthy, hygienic home. But what if I told you that very scent is actually a chemical smokescreen designed to mask a massive, multi-billion-pound corporate failure? What if the products you pour into your washing machine every single day, the ones your mother used, the ones with the lovely, smiling babies on the front, are actively degrading your clothes, polluting British waterways with tons of hidden plastic, and triggering what top dermatologists are calling an absolute epidemic of allergic reactions? Today, we are completely ripping the lid off the UK laundry detergent industry. By the time you finish watching this video, you will find out the terrifying legal loophole that turned Britain into a dumping ground for toxic chemical formulas that wouldn't even pass basic scrutiny across the English Channel. I'll show you the exact lab data, independent ethical ratings, and real consumer case studies that prove your favorite supermarket staples are a total rip-off. We will break down 11 massive laundry products currently sitting on British supermarket shelves that you need to bin immediately. And then I will give you the handful of genuine, budget-friendly alternatives that actually work without poisoning your household. Pay very close attention because the absolute most shocking, deceptive offender on this list isn't some cheap, dodgy knockoff. It is a massive household name brand that recently launched a multi-million-pound campaign specifically engineered to exploit your environmental conscience. And it is sitting in millions of British utility rooms right now. To understand how we got here, we need to establish a basic educational foundation because the modern laundry industry is built entirely on a psychological lie. The average shopper walks into Tesco or Sainsbury's, looks at a wall of brightly coloured plastic bottles, and assumes that more bubbles, more brightness, and more perfume mean a better wash. It doesn't. In fact, clean laundry has absolutely no smell at all. To understand what a quality wash actually requires, think of your clothes like your kitchen dishes. If you want to clean a greasy frying pan, you need hot water and a simple agent to break down the fat so it can wash away. You don't coat the pan in synthetic wax and artificial perfume to make it look clean. But that is exactly what modern laundry detergents do to your clothes. The industry relies on three main pillars of deception: petrochemical surfactants, optical brighteners, and hidden preservatives. Surfactants are the chemicals that lift the dirt from the fabric. High-quality detergents use plant-based surfactants that lift the grime and rinse away completely into the water. Cheap, industrial-grade rubbish uses crude petrochemical surfactants that cling desperately to the fabric fibers. To hide the fact that these cheap chemicals don't actually clean properly, manufacturers add optical brighteners. These are literally synthetic fluorescent compounds that don't remove dirt. They just coat the fibers and reflect ultraviolet light. It's a literal optical illusion. Your whites don't look whiter because they're cleaner. They look whiter because they are chemically glowing under a toxic layer that never washes out. Then come the preservatives, specifically a nasty little chemical called methylisothiazolinone. Think of it like a powerful industrial-strength pesticide for your liquid soap, used to stop bacteria from growing in the bottle while it sits on a warehouse shelf for 2 years. This stuff is such a brutal documented skin sensitizer that it has been heavily restricted in leave-on skin products, yet corporations pump it into laundry liquids that saturate your underwear, bedsheets, and towels. Every time you sweat, move, or breathe, your pores absorb these residues. And the ultimate kicker? Thanks to lax UK labelling laws, Manufacturers are legally allowed to hide dozens of these hazardous compounds under the single, innocent-sounding word, parfum. They are not required to tell you what is actually inside the bottle. You are washing your family's clothes in a chemical cocktail that nobody is legally obligated to list, turning your wardrobe into a walking dermatological hazard. Let's start with the brand that has spent over a century positioning itself as the literal heartbeat of the British utility room, Persil. Owned by the mega corporation Unilever, Persil has successfully hardwired generations of British mums into believing its distinct, clean aroma is the absolute benchmark of a proper wash. But that heritage image was shattered when the Advertising Standards Authority completely banned a prominent Persil television advert for outright greenwashing. The advert leaned heavily on wholesome imagery of children picking up litter from British beaches, while a soothing voiceover claimed the product was kinder to our planet. When regulators challenged them, Unilever couldn't provide a single shred of full life cycle evidence to support the claim. Soon after, the Competition and Markets Authority launched a sweeping investigation into Unilever over systemic greenwashing, citing vague environmental claims and deceptive green imagery like pretty little leaves on the packaging. At a massive cost per wash compared to basic powders, you are paying a heavy premium for a chemical illusion that wears out your clothes faster, leaving a stiff, microscopic residue that sits directly against your skin. This is a brand built on inherited family loyalty, yet Unilever scores a pathetic 1 out of 20 on Ethical Consumer Magazine's independent ratings due to vast plastic pollution and supply chain issues. It is an absolute corporate masquerade. Brandequity.economictimes.indiatimes.com is sure too if Persil is the old heritage choice, Ariel is marketed as the high-tech gold standard of British laundry. Poured from those iconic bright orange bottles, Procter & Gamble has spent billions making sure you believe Ariel is the ultimate weapon against tough stains. Behind that crisp, premium reputation sits one of the most chemically aggressive formulas on our supermarket shelves. It is absolutely saturated with optical brighteners and a brutal skin sensitizer called methylisothiazolinone. Textile experts have documented for decades that while Ariel's achieves dazzling whites, it does so by literally degrading the cotton fibers of your clothes during the cycle. Your garments look clean, but they are physically wearing out twice as fast as they should. Breaking it down per serving, you are spending top-tier supermarket money to coat your clothes in synthetic polymers that don't biodegrade and aggressive surfactants that are highly toxic to aquatic life. Procter & Gamble matches Unilever with its own miserable score of 1 out of 20 from Ethical Consumer Magazine. You aren't buying superior cleanliness with Ariel, you are paying a massive premium to turn your favorite t-shirts into fragile chemical-soaked rags. www.asa.org.uk now. If you already feel like running to check your own cupboard to see what's hiding in there, hit that subscribe button right now, because the corporate contradictions get even more severe from here. Take Fairy Non-Bio. The gentle pastel packaging and the soft, fluffy imagery promise a product that is perfectly safe for a newborn baby's delicate skin. Millions of British parents trust this bottle completely, which is exactly what makes it so sinister. The term non-bio simply means it lacks biological enzymes. That is it. It does not mean it is free from harsh chemicals. In fact, Fairy Non-Bio contains the exact same skin sensitizers, synthetic fragrances, and heavy optical brighteners found in industrial-strength liquids. Parents swap to Fairy because their infant has developed a mysterious skin rash, entirely unaware that the new bottle contains documented irritants linked directly to contact dermatitis. The phrase dermatologically tested has zero legal definition in the UK. Any company can plaster it on a label without meeting any independent safety standards. It is pure marketing fluff designed to create an impression of safety that the actual ingredient list flatly contradicts. Then we enter the bizarre world of fabric softeners, starting with Comfort, a brand that has been making British laundry soft since 1969. Comfort works by coating your clothes in a slick layer of quaternary ammonium compounds, or quats. These chemicals don't clean anything. They just coat the fabric in a synthetic waxy film to make it feel smooth. Think about your bath towels. You know how after a few washes with fabric conditioner, they stop absorbing water and just sort of push the moisture around your body. That is the chemical coating suffocating the cotton fibers. That exact same waxy layer remains on your clothes all day long, absorbing straight into your pores. For anyone suffering from asthma or respiratory issues, that heavily perfumed cloud doesn't stay trapped in the fabric. It vents out into your bedroom air while you sleep. Comfort even markets a pure version for babies, charging a premium for a product that still relies on these toxic quats and hidden synthetic perfumes. It is a completely unnecessary product sold entirely through clever psychological priming. Lena, Procter & Gamble's direct rival to Comfort, takes this exact same problematic blueprint and amplifies it. They heavily market variants that promise long-lasting freshness for weeks on end. To make a synthetic fragrance last for weeks, the chemicals have to be specifically engineered to resist the rinsing phase of your washing machine, binding aggressively to the fabric. You are walking around enveloped in a constant cloud of volatile organic compounds. Consumer feedback reports have linked these heavy, long-lasting fragrances to sudden headaches and cognitive fog in sensitive individuals. Furthermore, these waxy softeners are an absolute disaster for your home appliances. Appliance technicians frequently report that fabric softeners leave a thick, greasy sludge inside washing machine pipes, coating the drum seals and creating an absolute breeding ground for black mold. If industrial laundries refuse to touch the stuff because of the mechanical damage it causes, why on earth are we paying premium prices to pour it over the clothes that touch our skin? This brings us to Bold, the famous 2-in-1 detergent that promises the ultimate supermarket convenience by combining detergent and fabric softener in a single bottle. By trying to do both jobs at once, Bold applies 2 distinct layers of synthetic chemicals to your wardrobe in a single cycle. The fragrance concentration in Bold is higher than almost any other mainstream brand because the overpowering scent is its entire selling point. It completely rewires how consumers perceive cleanliness, training people to believe that if their laundry doesn't smell like a chemical perfume factory across the room, it isn't actually clean. The Danish Consumer Council handed down a miserable C rating to these Procter & Gamble formulations for their heavy use of allergenic preservatives and suspected endocrine disruptors which can subtly interfere with human hormones over time. If you are trying to save pennies in this economy, you might turn to Surf, Unilever's budget brand, famous for its bright tropical scents like Tropical Lily. The colourful bottles look like brilliant value on the shelves of Asda or Morrison's, but Surf is completely loaded with hidden synthetic fragrances under that generic word parfum. This single loophole conceals potential hormone disruptors and phthalates from the shopper. The cheap surfactants are derived directly from crude petrochemicals rather than sustainable plant sources, leaving a heavy residue that triggers severe sudden allergic reactions. Consumer databases have documented cases of individuals requiring urgent medical attention for full body rashes within hours of putting on clothes washed in Surf. A budget price tag should never be an excuse for cutting corners with chemical safety. Next up is Daz, a brand that has been a staple of British households since 1953. In a telling corporate move, Procter & Gamble quietly sold Daz off to a company called Blue Sun. When multi-billion-pound conglomerates dump legacy heritage brands, it is a massive red flag that the formulation is being cheapened to squeeze out the remaining profit. Longtime DAS users have flooded consumer forums noting that the new formula causes immediate, intense itching, forcing them onto antihistamines. That classic slogan, DAS washes whiter, is achieved purely through a massive overload of optical brighteners that reflect ultraviolet light. Your clothes aren't cleaner, they are just heavily coated in a fluorescent chemical layer that never washes away. Then we have the absolute pinnacle of modern convenience, Ariel pods, along with supermarket laundry capsules as a whole. They are marketed as the ultimate foolproof, mess-free solution for busy households. In reality, pods concentrate all the most concerning ingredients into a tiny, highly pressurized capsule encased in polyvinyl alcohol. While manufacturers claim this plastic casing dissolves completely, independent environmental studies show that over 8,000 tons of this liquefied plastic enter British waterways every single year, contributing heavily to microplastic pollution. Because the dose is pre-measured for maximum corporate profit, you are heavily overdosing almost every single wash, forcing excess chemical surfactants, artificial musks and optical brighteners into your fabrics. Worse still, these squishy, brightly colored pods look exactly like sweets to toddlers, leading to horrific accidental ingestions, chemical burns to the mouth, and emergency hospitalizations. But the greenwashing gets far worse when we look at brands that pretend to be premium and eco-friendly. Take Method. You've definitely seen those stylish, minimalist bottles sitting on the shelves of Waitrose or M&S, commanding a massive price premium because they claim to be natural and non-toxic. However, court documents from a major class action lawsuit revealed that Method products contained methylisothiazolinone, the exact same aggressive preservative causing the modern epidemic of severe skin blistering and contact dermatitis. Method's parent company, SC Johnson, the massive conglomerate that also manufactures industrial chemical products like Raid bug spray and Mr. Muscle, reportedly paid over £2 million to settle the suit. They wrapped a conventional problematic chemical formula in a pretty bottle, slapped plant-based on the front, and charged British consumers double the price for pure marketing theatre. That brings us to the absolute #1 worst offender on our list. Ineos Laundry Liquid. This product recently flooded British supermarket shelves, heavily marketed as a clean, green formula powered by plants. What the beautiful packaging completely hides is that Ineos is a colossal global petrochemical conglomerate heavily involved in oil, gas, and fossil fuel extraction. Their massive Grangemouth facility in Scotland is one of the single largest carbon emitters in the entire country. This is a fossil fuel giant using a consumer cleaning product to completely obscure their true industrial footprint. If you visit their slick marketing website, there is absolutely zero mention of the parent company. Ethical Consumer magazine gave Ineos a shocking score of 0 out of 20, a rating typically reserved for operations so fundamentally problematic that they defy standard scoring metrics. You aren't buying a plant-powered alternative. You are directly funding one of the UK's biggest climate polluters, who has realised there is a massive profit to be made by pretending to care about the environment. And now, what it was worth watching all the way through for. We have waded through the absolute worst corporate offenders on British supermarket shelves, so let's talk about the genuine ethical alternatives that actually give you clean clothes without exposing your household to an industrial chemical assault. Moving away from multi-billion-pound conglomerates doesn't mean you have to sacrifice performance or break the bank. In fact, switching to these recommended options will actively protect your skin, extend the life of your wardrobe, and save you an absolute fortune over the course of a single year. First up on our recommended list is Bio-D, an independent British family business that has been quietly operating right here in the UK since 1988. Unlike the legacy brands that treat their formulations like classified state secrets, BioD operates on a philosophy of absolute, radical ingredient transparency. When you flip a bottle of BioD around, you won't find a single trace of crude petrochemical surfactants, sodium lauryl sulfate, synthetic dyes, optical brighteners, or that notorious skin preservative methylisothiazolinone. What matters most is that BioD holds the prestigious Allergy UK allergy-friendly accreditation. This isn't just a meaningless marketing sticker they bought, it represents rigorous, independent scientific testing verified by consultant dermatologists. In practice, it feels entirely different from the industrial-grade rubbish. Your clothes come out completely clean, naturally soft, and entirely devoid of that heavy, headache-inducing chemical film. Because it contains zero synthetic residues, it rinses completely out of the fabric, meaning your clothes stay soft naturally without needing a separate fabric conditioner. From a financial perspective, a 5-litre bulk refill bottle of their concentrated fragrance-free laundry liquid costs around £23. Breaking that down, it works out to a staggering 18 pence per wash. That makes this premium, ethically immaculate, British-made product actually cheaper per load than buying standard bottles of Avriel or Persil at your local Sainsbury's. It is an absolute no-brainer for any family looking to eliminate skin irritants while slashing their grocery bill. www.greensmile.com next. Let's look at a brilliant mainstream option for the absolute budget-conscious shopper: the own-brand laundry powders from discount supermarkets like Aldi and Lidl. The independent consumer group which regularly conducts blind laboratory testing on laundry products, and their data consistently shows that Aldi's Almat and Lidl's Formil powders completely match or even exceed the stain-removing effectiveness of premium brands at a tiny fraction of the market price. The true secret here lies in the dry powder format itself. Unlike liquid detergents and concentrated pods, which require heavy doses of synthetic preservatives to remain stable in water, dry powders are inherently stable and require far fewer chemical stabilizers. Many real consumers on British home care forums report getting immaculate results by using just a single teaspoon of these discount powders per load, rather than the massive, excessive doses stamped on the back of the box by manufacturers desperate to make you buy another package. The dry powder format is also vastly better for the health of your home appliances. It doesn't leave behind that thick, waxy, gelatinous sludge that settles around your washing machine's heating element, which is the #1 cause of early appliance failure in British households. If there is a downside to these discount powders, it's that the packaging isn't particularly glamorous, and the cardboard boxes can be bulky to store in a small utility room, but for pure cleaning power per penny, they are an absolute triumph. If you are looking for total convenience delivered straight to your door, the British subscription service Smol is a phenomenal alternative to mainstream laundry pods. They manufacture compact laundry capsules that fit right through your letterbox, packaged in minimal plastic-free cardboard boxes. What sets Smol completely apart from corporations like Procter & Gamble is their commitment to cutting out unnecessary chemical dry matter. Their non-bio-sensitive capsules rely on plant-based surfactants and natural minerals rather than aggressive petroleum derivatives. They completely ditch the optical brighteners that coat your clothes in fluorescent illusions. Now, to be totally honest in our praise, some environmental groups have pointed out that Smol's marketing overstates their carbon credentials slightly, as their liquid formulas still contain some conventional cleaning agents. However, compared to the absolute microplastic disaster of standard supermarket pods that dump thousands of tons of liquefied plastic into our rivers every year, Smol is a monumental step forward. It is the perfect, hassle-free choice for busy households who want the foolproof simplicity of a capsule without turning their wardrobe into a dermatological minefield. Small.com finally, let's address the fabric softener scam with a total household game changer. Plain white vinegar. You do not need commercial fabric conditioner. Ever. It is an entirely manufactured product designed to ruin your towels and coat your underwear in synthetic tallow. If you pour a couple of tablespoons of basic white vinegar straight into the fabric softener drawer of your washing machine instead, something magical happens. The mild acidity of the vinegar completely neutralizes any leftover alkaline detergent residue clinging to the fabric fibers. Your clothes and towels come out beautifully soft, completely fluffy, and they retain 100% of their natural absorbency. And no, your clothes will not smell like a chip shop. The vinegar rinses out completely during the cycle, leaving behind absolute 0 scent. As an added bonus, the vinegar acts as a natural descaler, actively cleaning your washing machine drum, dissolving limescale, and preventing the buildup of black mold with every single wash. A standard bottle of white vinegar from Lidl or Asda costs less than £1 and will easily last your household for months. It is the ultimate insider trick that the multi-billion-pound laundry industry desperately hopes you never discover. If you want to step onto the supermarket floor tomorrow and completely shield your home from this multi-billion-pound chemical racket, you need a set of clear, unshakable rules to look for on the label. First, completely ignore any flashy marketing claims like kind to skin or dermatologically tested on the front of the bottle. These phrases have zero independent legal definitions in the UK. So any corporate giant can plaster them over a sea of petroleum byproducts without having to prove a single thing. Second, flip the pack around and scan the tiny ingredient list for anything ending in isothiazolinone, specifically methylisothiazolinone and benzisothiazolinone, because these are the brutal biocidal preservatives responsible for the current nationwide epidemic of severe skin blisterings and blistering contact dermatitis. Third, look out for the vague, catch-all term parfum or fragrance on the back. If the manufacturer doesn't explicitly state that their scents are derived entirely from pure, natural essential oils. That single word is legally hiding a toxic soup of undisclosed phthalates and chemical hormone disruptors. Fourth, never buy laundry capsules or pods under any circumstances. The convenience factor is a financial trap that causes you to systematically overdose every single wash cycle while pumping thousands of tons of liquefied plastic directly into local British rivers. Fifth, treat any product carrying the official, scientifically verified Allergy UK approval logo as an automatic green light, because that badge means the formula has undergone deep, independent testing by real consultant dermatologists to guarantee it is entirely free from chemical irritants. Sixth, walk straight past the fabric conditioner aisle at Morrison's or Tesco and head over to the baking section to pick up basic white vinegar and bicarbonate of soda instead. These two cheap staples perform the exact same softening and deodorizing tasks for pennies, without ruining your clothes or gumming up your appliances' internal plumbing. To sum this all up, the modern British laundry industry has spent decades successfully conditioning us to believe that cleanliness has a physical smell, that dazzling artificial whiteness equals true hygiene, and that a non-bio label is a cast iron guarantee of safety. None of it is true. The massive corporations dominating our shelves have simply realized that it is far more profitable to mask dirty, cheap, petrochemical formulas with overwhelming synthetic perfumes and optical illusions than it is to actually manufacture safe, clean, plant-based products. By making a single conscious shift in how you view your utility cupboard, by choosing raw powder over concentrated liquid, and by demanding absolute ingredient transparency, you instantly stop being a victim of their psychological marketing tricks. Thank you so much for investing your time to dig up the truth with me today. If you want to help break this corporate stranglehold, share this video with a mate who is still buying the exact same brand of washing liquid their mother used 40 years ago, or a friend who is currently wondering why their newborn baby's dry skin rash just refuses to clear up. Drop a comment below right now and tell me completely honestly, which of the 11 bad brands on our list is sitting on your washing machine at home right this second? If you want to see exactly how deep the rabbit hole goes when it comes to the everyday supermarket products we bring into our households, make sure to watch our comprehensive exposé on the chemical secrets hiding inside mainstream British dishwashing tablets next. Until next time, stop buying the marketing, read those labels with absolute scrutiny, and protect your home.